Welcome back. Our 16th team. We just saw them play for the first time. The Mustangs of St. Rita got upset by Loyola at home, and it cost them the outright conference title. Ended up having to share it with Mount Carmel and Loyola. And again, St. Rita, definitely battle-tested. Even got a little out-of-state action. Portage, Indiana, Jefferson City, Missouri in the first 2 weeks. And, got a scare from Fenwick in week 4. Sort of put up a red flag for me because, I didn't think Fenwick was that type of team. And then they sort of cruised along for a while until week 9. Old John Howlsek rallied Loyola for Loyola to get first piece of the conference titles in 1993. Is St. Rita one of those teams? Like you talked about Carmel and how a loss wouldn't necessarily hurt them. Did St. Rita get exposed, or was that a good loss for St. Rita, one they're going to build on?
I think it's more of the Chicago Catholic Blue is more like the SEC. And I think that conference, the positive is, if you come out of that conference, you're probably a good team, but more likely you're not at 100% because they beat up on each other.
Yep.
That's all they do because they're so talented. So the fact that Loyola beat St. Rita, I don't necessarily look at St. Rita as not as good of a team as they were before, because Loyola is a great team. Look at what they're doing in 8A, and plus they're in the same conference. I think it was more of a wake-up call for St. Rita. Every team has their flaws, and obviously Loyola picked them out. And if anything, this is the best time for them to lose because now they can get ready for, the Class 7A playoffs.
Yeah, the first round they got Highland Park. That should be a win. Then they get the Glenbrook North Harlem winner. That really should be a win. Which brings us to the team from our last preview, Carmel. And you obviously like Carmel to win the whole thing. So what is it? To me, St. Rita's got to clean up the passing game on both sides. They got Loyola's passing game did some serious damage against their secondary, and when they felt like they needed to pass, the Loyola rush was all over them. Yep. And so to me, those are the biggest things they need to clean up. Is it something different for you?
I think it's real similar, but I think it's some real simple things, just like turnovers. Mm-hmm. Because we saw what Loyola did. They took advantage of the turnovers that they got, and it's the playoffs now. It's not, hey, we turned it over, and the other team's not going to do much with it. These turnovers are returning and turning into 6 points. So if anything, that's something I think that St. Rita would need to work on, and that's all mental, holding the ball right and not making stupid errors and stuff like that. So I think they're going to look good. Going down the road, obviously, like you said, working on the pass game is something that they have in the back of their mind.
Yeah, and certainly, Loyola, the turnovers definitely hurt them against Loyola. One of them was a 75-yard pick six that we talked about, and that's got to be something they say, we can't get behind, and we can't feel desperate, because we can't, if we're forced to pass, the other team knows we have to pass, it's going to be bad news. And certainly playing Carmel, that almost looks inevitable. Obviously nothing's a guarantee, but St. Rita Carmel quarterfinal sure looks like something that's going to happen. So I guess my question to you then would be, if blank happens, St. Rita would pull the upset over Carmel. Is there a number? Like a certain number of rushing yards or a certain number of yards they limit Carmel to, that if you just saw that stat and nothing else, you'd say, oh, Rita probably pulled the upset?
I would say it would have to be in their passing yards, because St. Rita they have actually 2 talented running backs. Yep.
Starks and Akui.
Yeah, so I know that they can rush the ball. Yep. A lot of teams know that they can rush the ball. If they can add their passing game to that, so I would say they can win if they have, maybe over 200 yards receiving or something like that, collectively as a team.
Yeah.
I think that would be a big hurdle for them to get over.
Well, and for me, it's who's the second primary receiver, because Mitch Saffold, over 100 yards and a touchdown, 11 grabs against Loyola. Mm-hmm. So they obviously know that he can get it done.
Of course.
But if someone's double teaming him, who are they?
step up.
Yeah, who are they confident in? We talked about in the Wheaton South preview about Mr. Kern stepping up because Titus Davis is getting blanketed now, and Riley O'Toole is able to find him. The question is that offensive line like confident enough in their pass protection to give Brandon Johnson the time he needs to get the ball to his receivers when it's 3rd and 8 and they got to have it?
Yeah.
I think that's what St. Rita had. I would say in these early round playoff games, even if you say, oh, we know we can run and get this, call a pass. Put your guys in a situation, we're probably going to win this game no matter what, but we're going to make you execute this passing game as a coaching staff because you're going to need to do that if we're going to get to where we want to be, which is Champaign, Illinois.
Yeah, when it comes to 6, 7, and 8A, I think more than likely the teams that are the state champions are the teams that can do both, that have that, multifaceted attack. And so, if St. Rita can continue to do that with maybe some of the other receivers and the things they got going on there, don't get me wrong, this is a dangerous team.
Oh yeah,
certainly. They obviously, for being in the conference they're in, they go out of state to play. This is no chump team. This is a fantastic team.
Yep.
It really gets to the best of the best.
Yeah.
So we're trying to say, okay, these are the best teams in 7A, but who's the best of them?
Yeah.
So.
And I mean to say that they're the underdog to Carmel, I mean, it's not like we're saying they're an underdog against an 0-9 team.
No.
I mean, it's like you're state champion, so it's definitely something their coaches have to be thinking about. Even though I'm sure that they'll say, and I'm sure they are, focused on Highland Park in round 1.
Oh yeah, have to be.
It'll definitely be interesting to see how different St. Rita plays or how different they look in a couple weeks than what they did against Loyola, because obviously Loyola pulled a couple trick plays, and that's something that sometimes you see in the playoffs also. Definitely in the state championship games, you have nothing to lose, you can go for broke. But I'd be interested to see if St. Rita pulls some trick plays in a game against a Carmel, because St. Rita's almost always that team that's just a notch better than everyone, and you got to pull the trick play against them.
Of course.
So how do you react when all of a sudden you're thinking, well, maybe we got to pull a Statue of Liberty or some play to get the momentum against one of these elite teams in 7A. So I think that'll be very interesting. But certainly St. Rita, one of 4 or 5 teams in 7A that it wouldn't shock anybody if they were hoisting the trophy down in Champaign Thanksgiving weekend. That'll wrap it up for our preview of the Mustangs, and we'll be continuing our playoff previews next time here on IllinoisPrep.com. We'll be on team number 18, I believe, 17 in our previews of the playoff teams here in Illinois.